Hey everyone, it's Michael Groff here to talk to you about your roof. With an active monsoon season expected this year, you need a name you can trust, and that's why you should call Blackstone Roofing Group for all of your roofing needs. Call for your free inspection today. Big or small, they do it all. Tile, shingle, or flat roofing, they can help, offering free inspections and more. Roofing made easy. Call 602-536-9363 or visit blackstoneroofinggroup.com to schedule your free inspection today. And if you tell them Michael Groff sent you, they'll take $500 off the price of your roof replacement. Again, that's 602-536-9363 or blackstoneroofinggroup.com. This is the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Saturday, the 14th of June. I'm Michael Groff. The hottest temperatures we've had so far this year in here today, even hotter tomorrow, continued hot on Monday, and really for the rest of the forecast period, highs pretty close to, if not exceeding, 110 degrees on just about every day. Now, obviously, we're watching out for that monsoon moisture or the change in the weather pattern that starts to occur later on this month. But in the meantime, dry and hot will be the story. And it's not just here in Phoenix, as you may have seen in the thumbnail. It's hot in some places that aren't normally equipped for that kind of hot weather. So let's talk about it as we dive on in and discuss. First, the almanac from yesterday for the fourth consecutive day. 108 degrees was the high temperature here in Phoenix after a morning low of 82. 104 and 78 are the averages for this time of year as we take a look outside right now after 12 p.m. Sunny sky out there. And we're sizzling at 101 degrees at Sky Harbor. Dew point's 37, so it's dry. Relative humidity 11%. The winds are light and the barometer is steady. Temperatures out there right now, I'm not quite sure if it's 110 at Collier already, but, well, I wouldn't be surprised, I suppose. It's very hot across the valley already. Temperatures over 100 degrees in most spots, and we will see afternoon highs today anywhere from 106 to 110 in most locations. Why is it so hot? Well, we've been talking about it every single day, and it's our old buddy, high pressure, in control here across the west, sitting just to the south of us. And so as a result, this ridge will continue to amplify with that trough along the Pacific Northwest coast, and therefore temperatures will continue to heat up this weekend. 110 today will probably be several degrees warmer tomorrow. All right, here's the watch warning map. We've got the extreme heat warning in effect for us here in Phoenix from 10 a.m. this morning through 8 p.m. on Monday. That extreme heat warning extends from southeast California through southwest, south central Arizona, portions of the southeastern parts of our state, as well as up into western parts of the state as well. La Paz, Mojave County, and the Las Vegas Valley. Nobody is escaping the heat here in the desert southwest. Elsewhere, some flood watches for parts of Virginia, some of the adjacent areas, some air quality alerts scattered about as well. But otherwise, it's fairly quiet. But one thing you'll note on this map is there's also a heat advisory in the interior of Alaska. Yes, Fairbanks, the Tanana Valley, and much of interior Alaska is in a heat advisory. And this is the first time that the National Weather Service in Fairbanks has issued a heat advisory. Now, that's a little bit deceiving. It's a little bit clickbaity to put that on a thumbnail because, yes, it is true that it's the first heat advisory, but this is kind of a new policy they have there. Before they would issue special weather statements covering any hot temperatures. And no, it will not be the hottest weather they've ever seen there. But nonetheless, temperatures are above average. You can see here the national blend of models for tomorrow paints in mid to maybe upper 80s over interior Alaska. Fairbanks, 86 tomorrow. They should be maybe in the mid to upper 80s, and some spots getting close to 90 on Monday. Now, 90 degrees is pretty rare in Fairbanks in the interior of Alaska, but it's not unheard of. The most ever, by the way, I was doing some digging on this, the greatest number of days in 1 year that Fairbanks has ever had a high temperature at or above 90 degrees is 3. In 1994, 1969, 1918, and 1916. But they've also gone as many as 15 years in a row without having a 90-degree temperature. So it's kind of unusual, but not unheard of. Still, for a place that's getting about 22 hours of sunlight right now, that's still pretty toasty. All right, back here in the U.S., the lower 48. Convective outlook, you've got the standard slight risk of severe storms once again extending from Montana, the northern Rockies, out into the Plains states. The broader marginal risk for much of the plains, as well as parts of the middle Atlantic. Of course, in Arizona, it's very quiet. The tropics and the East Pacific, well, look what we've got down there. Yep, it's Delilah. And yes, just like Delilah, won't be doing a whole lot, just kind of meandering out there and then fizzling out over the next few days. This system will not have any impact on our weather and will not have any impact on most of Mexico as well. This should just kind of move out to the west. And unfortunately, we don't see, even though the tropics and the East Pacific should be active, I don't think any of that moisture from any further systems will make it up here, at least not in the short term. Let me go back to this graphic. You can see there's another area of disturbed weather that the National Hurricane Center is giving a chance to develop, not in the short term, but over the next 7 days. There's at least a small chance that that will also develop. So we could have our 5th named storm in the East Pacific hurricane season already. And we're only in mid-June. This is looking great. All right, closer to home here for us, the precipitation outlook valid through next Saturday morning. Rain amounts in Phoenix, nothing. Statewide, nothing. Region-wide, say it with me, nothing. Yes, high pressure will be in control. No sign of that monsoon moisture just yet. But maybe things start to change beyond this period. Let's check it out right now as we take a look at the models, see what the future may hold. Here we go. This is the GFS. It's the 12Z run. This is valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. What you're looking at here is the upper chart at 18,000 feet, 500 millibars. All right, high pressure around. It's being amplified a little bit by a trough off the Pacific Northwest coast. Now, that trough doesn't look like it's going to be quite as strong as initially thought. It's still going to amplify our ridge, but luckily not quite as much as we anticipated initially. We were looking at record high temperatures. Instead, we'll just have to settle for near record heat. Now, for the rest of today down at the surface, nowhere near records, but still toasty. Highs 106 to 110 in Phoenix, plenty of sun. For tonight, clear sky, dry air, lows in the 70s for the most of us, maybe low 80s in the urban core. And then tomorrow, sunny, hot, highs 110 to 114. This is likely the hottest day of the forecast period, the hottest day we've had so far this year, and I hope it is the hottest day we have for the rest of the year, but I think that is being a bit premature. All right, so let's keep it going. This is Monday. Highs still up around 108 to 112. Now, we were looking at that aforementioned trough to pass by and bring some minor relief from the heat. But at this point, it looks like it's going to stay a little further to the north, and it won't displace our ridge very much. It'll knock the heights down ever so slightly, but highs will still be around 106 to 110 on Tuesday. That's not much of a break from the heat. There might be a light breeze at times, but that's going to be about it. Let's go to Wednesday. We'll just warm it right back up. Highs getting back to around 107 to 111. We'll warm it up a little further on Thursday and Friday. Highs, any of these days will be anywhere from about 108 to 113. And the hottest desert spots might even be just a little bit warmer than that. Now, late next week and going into next weekend, the forecast gets a little bit more interesting. This is Saturday, the 21st. And another trough is slated to line up over the Pacific Northwest, ridging to the east, but there might be a little bit of moisture that seeps into southeast and east central Arizona for an isolated shower or thunderstorm over there. Not exactly a traditional monsoon setup, but there is moisture that's kind of building across Mexico, so we should see at least some isolated storms there, maybe better chances of storms across New Mexico. This isn't necessarily going to portend a monsoon pushing in here, the monsoon pattern getting set up. This is just kind of a more of a situation where you have a trough that's helping to advect some moisture. But we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. Either way, it shouldn't have much impact on our weather. Temperatures may back off just a little bit with that trough, though, depending on how strong it is. But if it's like the current system and the way that the GFS has been trending, I'm sure this trough will probably wind up being a little bit less intense than what's currently forecast. Let's just push out 10 days here. This is Monday the 23rd. Again, weak troughing over the Pacific Northwest. We're dry, we're hot. Temperatures anywhere from about 106 to 111 here in the lower deserts, if that verifies. Looking at rainfall for Phoenix, this goes out through the 28th of the month off the GFS ensemble. The ensemble mean about 600ths of an inch, and there is a smattering of members that show some precipitation in here, but for the most part, no. We stay dry, and the European ensemble pretty much in agreement there. Not much in terms of precipitation. We don't see any obvious signs of the monsoon getting cranked up, at least not for the next couple of weeks. I was looking at some of the ensemble members and the longer range and out there, into Fantasyland. And yeah, there's some indication that moisture is going to be increasing across central and maybe even northern Mexico, but not quite getting into Arizona just yet. Now, once again, if you're wondering, usually here in Phoenix, a typical monsoon, as we have known them through most of the years, the last several years kind of notwithstanding, typically, our first monsoon thunderstorms come in here about the first week or 10 days of July. So we've got a ways to go. We're only in mid-June right now, so it should be some time before we start to really see that pattern turning in our favor and bringing in those higher humidities and those chances of showers and storms. Temperatures off the national blend of models, yuck. And that's all you can really say for the next several days anyway. The rest of the weekend and next week, highs 110 plus on most days. Signs of maybe slightly lower temperatures out there toward the end of next weekend and the following week with a trough and maybe some increased moisture. But for the most part, it's still looking gross out there for a while. If you're looking for real relief from the heat, might I suggest the end of October? All right, that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here on Monday morning, but of course, updates before that, should they be necessary. If you happen to enjoy these videos, then be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you really enjoy what we do here, you want to support the channel, that's awesome. Click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube and make a contribution to us that way, or even better, PayPal. Yeah, we have a PayPal, and you can use that. groffshow@gmail.com is the PayPal address. It's groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal. We also have our Venmo. That is linked up down in the description as well. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the SOT. Yeah, that's sweetest of all time. You've heard of the goat? There's the SOT. And, hey, we're all about abbreviations around here. Anyway, she is also the Asian sensation and proprietor of SweetChildAZ.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, and more than likely Adriana related. It's all linked up down in the description, so check all of that out. Also, our streaming station, it's available 24/7, 365. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music and have a lot of fun over there, too. So give that a listen. It's linked up in the description, or you can go to KMGX.com and listen via that avenue. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support, it is so greatly appreciated. Please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there, and have yourselves a glorious rest of your Saturday.